What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror. I am Ken Sledge, and today I am super pleased to bring to you from The Strangers Prey at Night, from Haunt, and many upcoming projects. I have Damian Maffei. Damian, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. You holding up good in quarantine? Everything treating you okay? Not going crazy yet?
I'm well past crazy. No, it's pretty good here. I'm in a good location for it, I think, geographically. So it hasn't been too bad. A lot of outdoor stuff. A lot of wilderness exploring.
Yeah, I seen you went camping a couple weeks ago, man. I hope you had a great time.
Did go camping. Was it a great time? I would have to say it wasn't a great time.
Okay.
A teenager and a 2-year-old, and a neurotic dog who went with them. So
you had me at teenager and 2-year-old, man. I got a 12, 7, and newborn here, so I definitely know where you're coming from.
It was So you do. This is 13 and 2. So it was interesting.
Now I do want to let you guys know, if you don't, Damian was in The Strangers Prey at Night as the man in the mask, and one of the best scenes I've ever seen on film in the pool scene. How was that, the whole pool scene?
Oh, that was fun. I remember reading that script, and I originally, before I read the script, I didn't really even want to do the movie, I don't think, for a variety of reasons.
Sure.
But I read the script, and a couple of points stuck out to me, and the pool scene definitely did. Mm-hmm. Reading it, but I wasn't prepared for. I remember we went down there. It was daylight. Everyone was setting everything up, and we went through the fight choreography, and I was like, it was cool. Lewis and I had, we had like all, weekends we go to the movies or whatever. So we just kind of were chumming around.
Yeah.
So we were very comfortable with one another, and we just kind of really gelled doing the whole, the fight business. And then we left, we got dressed, and we came back. That whole shoot, you couldn't start shooting until about 9 p.m. Because it all took place at night.
Sure.
So we had to wait till it got dark, and we came back, and I remember getting out of the van and walking around, coming down, and like the pool was a little down below, so you came up and I saw all the lights, all the palm trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I had no idea that was going to be going on here. That's not in the script. So much of what is great about the pool scene is that stuff that's not in the script, that stuff that Johannes and the DP Ryan Samuel brought to it, the lighting and music and the smash cut stuff, and the camera angles. So I remember standing there after like the 5th time, the fight on land, and I resetting, and I was just like, this is really cool to be a part of. I feel like this is kind of special.
Well, I'll never listen to Total Eclipse of the Heart the same again.
We had no idea. Johannes didn't know what music he was going to be putting in places. Every time he'd just be like, I think, I'm going to put in an 80s love ballad here. So that was fun. That was fun, and that was physically demanding. Just doing that over and over and over again, and then the pool stuff, that was crazy, and that my stunt double went in there and did the underwater stuff.
Yeah.
The spinning underwater. Because I mean, I would have killed the both of us if I kept doing it. And yeah, it was like, you know, the corduroy suit, and the fucking boots are filled with water.
Right. Oh man. And then like obviously I love The Strangers Pray at Night, but Haunt, man, that is such a great, I don't want to say it's a great take on like a haunted house, but like a haunted attraction movie. You played Devil in that movie. And it's one of those movies that throughout the whole thing, you're not quite sure really what's going on. You know, you're not sure if, you know, everybody's okay or if it's all part, you know, like when you have the one guy come out and he's like, everything's okay, everything's okay. You know, you want to believe him. I don't want to spoil anything for people that haven't seen this movie. So if you haven't seen Haunt, do yourself a favor and check it out. It is a great twist on the horror attraction.
What the hell are you doing if you haven't seen Haunt? I mean, we've all been stuck inside for months. Come on.
It's such a great movie, man, and it's got such a. It's one of those movies that there's no randomness to it. I love why it's happening.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one. That was that was another one. I was, you know, it was like that came up, you know, right after Pray at Night. I was like, do I really want to play back to back? You know, kind of masked.
Sure.
I was like, you know, I'm going to be heading down a really kind of dark path career-wise when I want to do this, but I just, it was cool. It was cool. And a lot of that group was people that worked on Pray at Night, so you know, it's like
right.
Kind of a thing.
Well, you're talking about going down a dark path. You could say you made a wrong turn there. Landed with The Foundation, which for those of you that don't know, Wrong Turn is getting a reboot, The Foundation, and you're a part of that. So I know things are kind of crazy with COVID, but you got a couple upcoming projects with The Wrong Turn, On Location, another one, and then Time's Up. Is there anything you can fill us in on about releases or what's going on with these? Again, I know things are crazy with COVID, but
Wrong Turn, I think there'll be a trailer fairly soon. You know, I don't know when that's coming. I don't think that they know. Yeah, I know it's finished. It's picture locked. It's ready to go. There were some rough test screenings, probably maybe the beginning of March.
okay.
And then all this business happened. So, I mean, you know, all these people want that. I get 200 messages on Instagram a week from people, you know, demanding the Wrong Turn trailer. I'm like, what are you asking me for? I'm like 15 on the call. And they're all like they're all from Latin America. It's huge over there in the Wrong Turn franchise.
Really?
Apparently. Well, I mean, you know, I was aware of the Wrong Turn franchise. I saw the first one in the theaters. You know, the second one, Joe Lynch, you know, it's kind of a really gonzo slasher flick. And then the rest of them started coming out, and I was like, oh, who's paying for these movies to be made? Who's watching? Because I never met anyone who has seen any of these movies. And then when I, you know, signed on for this Wrong Turn, then, you know, as soon as it hit the internet or whatever, then I started getting messages, people in Brazil, all over. And I was like, oh my God. It was like these Wrong Turn fan accounts started following. And I was like, oh, all right. So, I mean, that explains the justification of 5 sequels.
Yeah, if people are buying it. So is this one actually a sequel or is it more of a reboot?
It's, well, you know, they call things reboots.
Sure.
For kind of like franchises that have been like dormant or fallen off the rails, which Wrong Turn is both. So they're kind of like trying to like jumpstart things. So it's none of those. It's by the original writer and creator.
That's awesome.
Alan McElroy. But this movie is so different from any of the other entries. So it's, you know, it's definitely not a remake. I don't think they want to call it, you know, Wrong Turn 7. Because
Right.
that's really not going to do them any favors. Because then people are going to be like, what the hell was Wrong Turn and how are there 7 of them? And then there's going to be people who know that they exist. They're like, I'm not watching another one of these movies. So,
Right.
that's where you get that marketing and kind of placement division where they try to fire it up the right alley.
Right. So is this getting a theatrical release?
I mean, I think it was supposed to. When we were filming it, that's what I heard. It's got a good cast, solid cast. I mean, it could. I don't know. Asking me that question in February versus now is they don't know what to do with a lot of movies now. There's there's bona fide movies where they spent $8 billion on them and like they have to put them out.
Right.
Or they think that's their best bet. But I mean, a lot of movies are rethinking that now. So
Well, yeah, especially if you're getting a theatrical release right now, what are you doing?
Right.
So I definitely get that. Now, what about On Location or Time's Up? Can you fill us in a little bit on what these are about so people kind of have an idea when those come, what's going on?
Yeah, On Location, which I should have wrapped filming by now. It was supposed to start March 23rd, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't happen. So that's been delayed. I get updates from that production. They're kind of, we got this whole guidebook. We had to pass this test to get the certificate, like all virus stuff. But I don't know when that's going to start filming. But yeah, it's a horror movie. I hear the noise. Is that coming from me? Or is that?
I think it is that the cracking in the audio.
Why would that? How would that be me? Is it poltergeist or something? Like I'm on I don't know. Weird. Someone trying to cut it? I don't know. It's not like a walkie-talkie or something where I'm picking up another frequency.
Right. Yeah, I was hearing it too.
Maybe when you replay this thing, maybe it'll like be a secret message.
People have to listen to it backwards.
Yeah. Anyway, On Location is about this group that these people have this business called Terror Trips, which is they go and visit locations of horror movies.
Oh, nice.
There's a pick. So and then one location doesn't bode so well for them. That's as simple and dumbed down as I can put it. But it's got some good meat on its bones. A cool script. Jeff Seaman wrote and is going to direct that. And actually, Felissa Rose is one of the producers on it. From stuff. But that movie that has a great cast. Has a really good. This is my kind of cast. For me, that's what's kind of the most exciting about this movie. Is that I run around with a bag on my head and whatnot, but I'm a little bit of an acting snob, so I like good actors, good performances, and this cast is really solid. And it's a lot of people that I've wanted to work with or have worked with before, and they've done some horror stuff, but it's not like horror actors. It's actors.
Sure.
Cheney Morrow, who was in Haunt with me, is in it.
Okay.
He was the ghost, Mitch. Good old Mitch. And Elsie Holt is in that. He was in You're Next. He was one of the killers in You're Next. Another good actor. And who I'm working with on Time's Up. And my friend Hannah Fearman, she was in VHS. She killed a bunch of guys and sprouted wings. Which he does normally anyway. So.
I'll say I thought that was more of a biopic than anything else. I thought that was pretty much her biography.
Don't put it past her. She's very serious actor who could spread
Right.
wings.
Well, I'm glad that we can get caught up. Anytime you have any updates on those films, please send them our way so I can let everybody know what's going on.
You got it.
Yeah.
Let you know when we're filming that.
What's that?
And I'll let you know when we're filming that. And
Yeah.
Time's Up is that's a special one for us. That's it's a slasher movie, but it's it's got some meat on its bones.
Sure.
A bit of an emotional gut punch, and that's something that kind of was born from our time in school. A lot of bullying. And,
Okay.
it's really from that. And Elsie Holt wrote it based on kind of my idea story.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. And Corey Norman is directing it. Really, kind of clawed hard to get it done in Portland, Maine. And that's the cast. It's another cast of just good actors. It'll be performance driven, which it's like it's a slasher movie, but it makes a difference. It helps.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen anything yet that you've done that's disappointed. So you put your name on something, you're pretty proud of it. So I like that.
I'll put my name on this. I'm a big host for this. We're not filming that until January. It does take place on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
So we're taking time with this. It's gone through several heartbreaks. So kind of fun, kind of just getting it done. But yeah, I mean, stay tuned, for that.
Oh, any updates I get, I'll make sure to update everybody through social media. I'm so excited for what you got coming up, man. Like, you've done so many great things, but it seems like the best is still in front of you. So I'm so stoked on that. While we're talking about what's behind us, let's talk about your first horror movie you ever watched. And your first one was?
It would be Alien. That's the first one I have a memory of. And that was on the TV. And my parents were watching it. And, like my parents weren't crazy about me watching horror movies and stuff. But, I mean, I was persistent.
Right.
I definitely remember hiding behind the couch.
Do you remember about how old you were when you seen it?
I'd say... I bet you could find... I bet you could go back to, like, TV archives and find out, because I mean, you either saw things on TV or you didn't. Like you didn't see, because there was no. Probably before video stores. Oh God, I'm really dating myself. It was in color. I was probably between maybe 7 or 8.
Okay. See, it's funny.
I mean, I'm sure I saw horror movies before that.
Right.
But that was the one I remember seeing, and it affected me. And I remember being surprised, and it took me through emotional things, because I remember, So, well, my answer is Alien.
Now, it's funny you said the video store thing, because I still have Alien on VHS downstairs. It's just, that's one of the ones that, I love watching that movie. It's a movie I watch probably 3 or 4 times a year. There's very, very little to dislike about that movie. But if you had to pick the one scene you think affected you the most, I know you said you were hiding behind the couch. What scene do you think it was that affected you the most as a kid, and why?
I mean, I was hiding, I was standing. I mean, they were sitting on the couches, so I think for a while, my parents thought I wasn't paying attention to things.
Okay.
So they could just kind of like watch something like Alien, and I was very into toys and stuff, and very into pretending and using my imagination. So I think probably for a while they thought I wasn't paying attention to stuff.
Right.
Which is what I do now, but not then. The scene that affected me the most was Dallas's death in the ducks, because I mean, this was 1980 something. I mean, you watch a movie like Alien, especially then. I mean, Dallas is, going to be your hero.
Yeah.
Good guy. Business, even though he kind of breaks the rules, which is really what sets everything into motion. And but that's our guy there. So and I like him. So him going into the ducks there, and I'll always remember it's still one of my favorite scenes is him. This point where he just kind of like puts his head back against the wall. He's kind of like muttering to himself, and that whole sequence that was something. And then him, getting his ticket punched is like the game changer there for that movie.
Oh yeah. So we're talking about that scene. For me, obviously, it's the alien coming through the chest. As a kid, that scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. That's the scene. If I wasn't paying attention after that,
Yeah.
I sure was.
Is this a movie that you still watch regularly, or is this one of the things that
Yeah. In fact, my 13-year-old, my kids really aren't into horror movies or anything like that kind of, so I don't, and I don't push it on.
Sure.
But my son has the same sleeping habits as me, my oldest son. So, and during the school year, he'll do anything to stay awake and not go to bed. And I remember my wife was leaving, and I was sitting on the couch, and he was supposed to go to bed, and I was like, I'm about to watch Alien. I'm putting Alien on. Like, you're not going to want to watch Alien. And he's like, no, I want to watch Alien. And then my wife was leaving. She's like, fine, sit there and don't move and watch Alien. And I looked at her. I was like, what? Because she's like, she doesn't want to watch anything, but, but Care Bears, I don't know, or something. But obviously not Care Bears, but she'd kill me if she heard me say that. But I looked at her, and she was like, she gave me the same, like, he won't sit through 5 minutes of it. He'll be gone.
Right.
But he sat through the whole thing. He watched the whole thing.
That's awesome.
Didn't move. So, and then he was telling people it was his favorite movie. He loved Alien. So, and then that was, I don't remember when that was, but April 4/26 came up. And I remember I was going to do The Strangers in a couple of weeks, but we went to, it was an Alien Day, 4/26.
Mm-hmm.
So we drove, I drove about an hour to go see, they had re-released Alien in theaters with a special clip from Covenant.
Okay.
And that was a whole other thing. So we watched Alien, on the big screen, and it was great. And then they played that clip from Covenant, and it was the level of gore and brutality. Assume you've seen Covenant.
Yeah.
It's the scene in Covenant where the thing rips out of the person's back, out of the soldier's back.
Okay.
Like someone gets lit on fire. It's like the only part of the movie where it's like level 8 gore and stuff. And they showed that fucking clip, and he was like, I was like, oh my god. I was like, you can't do this to people. I mean, yeah, Alien the chest person thing, but like this is,
And the alien through the chest, those scenes. I've talked about this before on the show, and I was going to get your opinion on it too. I'm a huge fan of practical effects. I prefer practical to CG, and so Alien is a really good movie to watch if you're a practical effect person.
Sure.
Your opinion on practical effects versus CG? What are you more of a fan of?
Well, I prefer practical effects, obviously, and anything I have involvement in, like Time's Up, our effects guy in there is Jeremy Sullenfriend of Monster in My Closet. He's been nominated for Emmys. He does the prosthetics and all the stuff there, and And I wouldn't have it any other way. It's going to be practical. I mean, CG does have its its use. I mean, I don't know the right way to use CG.
Well, to me,
I
it's just
know that we see it a lot used the wrong way.
and that's what I was gonna say. The thing with CG is when a movie uses CG, 9 times out of 10, it overuses CG. And once you start overusing it like that, it just becomes so fake looking almost. Give me Jaws popping out of the water from Jaws 1 compared to what the CG we got today. I would rather a fake practical looking effect than something CG that just looks so computerized, just it doesn't fit.
Well, some of these studios use it to that same child, the 13-year-old. Every now and then he'll be like, "What's the what's the greatest horror movie? What's your favorite horror movie? Whatever." And I don't know how it came up, but he was like, "I want to watch The Thing." That's what he said. And I said, "You can't handle The Thing." So he wants to watch it. So we sat down and watched The Thing. He was like, "When was this made? 1972?" I said, "It came out in 1982." And he's like, how could the effects can't be, any good? But he didn't sit through The Thing. He'll tell you he did, but he didn't make it. He made it when the dog first starts to erupt.
Okay. Yep.
And he was done. And he was like, "All right, I'm going to bed." He's like, "But these effects are amazing."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yeah, exactly."
Yeah, when done right, practical effects.
It made me think of The Thing from 2011 with the Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and I remember seeing that in theaters, and the effects. I was like, "Oh God!" Everything's shiny. It looks like cartoons. And then I saw the practical effects they did for that, which are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just kind of laid them over with this garbage CG. And it's like, who would fucking do that?
Right.
Why? What is the purpose of that?
See, and that's what I think that's the big thing, because I think the reason why I like old school horror movies compared to new is the use of practical effects in them. Like in Pet Sematary, something I brought up the other day, when Gage is biting out his neck after he slices his heel. I love that practical effect. That looks so good. You use stuff like that. If you do it right, you got the right makeup artist, that stuff can look perfect. So that's one of the things that I've always been more practical. I think it adds so much to the film. And, those makeup guys, they really pour their heart and soul into all that stuff, man. And you see them do that, and then they throw in the CGI. They just a big example I use is Freddy vs. Jason. When they put all the CGI blood in there, it looks so bad, man.
A lot of it has to do with kind of laziness. It's not cheaper. Usually it's not cheap. But practical effects, people got to build it, and you got these guys there to do it. It makes a mess. If it goes wrong, it's like this whole thing. They didn't want to deal with it, especially if you're talking about creatures. Can you imagine? Think about it in your head, having to deal with this fucking mechanical, practical shark, or you don't have to worry about it all, and some dudes in some little windowless room somewhere are going to create that thing.
Right.
It's like it's lazy, and the bigger the movie, the more mucking about these suits, we'll call them executives, money people, the more they're going to have their way, and they don't give a shit about or whatever. So they just they crank them out. So that's how we wind up with the shit.
Yep. Like I said, they're all about filling the pockets, man, and they know people are going to buy it. Just like with I wasn't a big fan of it. I don't know if you were or not, but the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. See, and I'm not.
I don't know anyone that's a big fan of that movie.
Okay.
I'm not against that movie. I saw that movie this year for the first time.
Okay.
I had not seen it because I heard such bad things. And then it was on one of these channels, and I was like, you know what? There's no way this movie is as bad as people are pretending. There's no way. And it wasn't. It's not as bad as people are pretending. It's not good.
Right.
It's pointless. I don't really remember it enough to be specific. I was like, I know what's going on here with this movie. Like, why is that? But I mean, it's not that bad.
See, but I'm not one of those people that, oh, it's a remake, so it's going to suck. That's not me. There's plenty of remakes. I think the Dawn of the Dead remake was great. I liked Halloween 2018. There's a lot of great remakes out there, but there's also at the same time, like you said, what's the point? If you already got a great movie, what's the point of doing a remake? And
I'm all for redos and remakes and stuff. And even if you got my favorite horror movie of all time is Black Christmas. Okay, the original.
Okay.
So I've now seen 2 things called Black Christmas come out, and the first one's very pretty sleazy slasher film.
Yeah.
So it's got that going for it. It's got a lot not going for it. But as long as you just this is like a trashy, very prettily shot slasher film, okay, it's not Black Christmas. That's fine. But I come from a world of, it's how I always try to put it, is that I do a lot, I did a lot of theater.
Uh-huh.
I love doing theater. We do these plays that have been done, thousands of times. And I go see theater, and I'll go see a play I've already seen 100 times, and see, someone else's take on it, someone else's, version of it, see how they've kind of updated it and
sure.
Breathe new life into it. Sometimes it's like, oh, this is cool. Or sometimes it's, a horrible mistake. That's how I go about the remakes and stuff. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's usually, though, especially with the internet now, but, it's just condemned immediately.
Yeah, see, that I don't like that. Like, that totally takes away from the film and everybody that was in the film.
I don't understand it.
No.
God, you ruined the original movie. What
How?
are you talking about? Like Carrie Elwes. I remember when it was announced that the Princess Bride remake was happening. And I was like, that Carrie Elwes tweeted, there are so few perfect movies in the world. It would be a shame to ruin this one. That's what he said. Meanwhile, Black Christmas was coming out. And I was like, moron, how does it fucking ruin the original Princess Bride? Remakes don't make the originals disappear.
Thank you. That's what I was just going to say. Just because they're remaking it
doesn't
mean, yeah, you don't have to not watch the old one anymore. Oh, well, I can't watch this. They remade it, so I got to throw my old copy away.
There's this thing where it's like, oh, the original isn't good enough for you, so we're going to try and do it better. Just shut up. More often than not, everyone's like, this is the worst. And then they go back and have this celebration spree of the original.
Mm-hmm. And especially the one
with Black Christmas, saying what he said about it.
See, the one that really gets me on that was the Psycho remake. People were like, this is awful. This is terrible. The one with Vince Vaughn. And I'm like, dude, this is shot for shot. Pointless? Sure. But to say it's terrible, it's literally shot for shot the same thing as the original. So how are you going to sit here and tell me this is terrible and the original was gold?
I can see. That was a puzzling movie to do. Shot for shot.
As I say, it's just an update. You can't say that it sucked if you love the original. But I can see pointless. Like I said, there's no point in just doing a shot-for-shot remake of Psycho. Everybody knows Psycho. So pointless, sure. But terrible, can't go with that one.
I'm all for it. Just keep them coming. You can either wind up with another movie that kind of touches on a world you enjoy, or you never have to watch it again.
Right. It's really not rocket science, man. But back to Alien real quick. When you think of the movie Alien, what is the first thing that pops into your head?
When I think of the movie Alien, first thing that pops into my head is is Ripley running with the cat. The end, her running through with the cat, jostling that cat around. I don't know. Is that an answer to the question?
Yeah, that'll work, man. That works for me.
I don't know. I feel like I feel probably Dallas and those Ducks is probably the right answer. But
Sure.
when you just said it, that's what popped into my head.
So you talk about Dallas. Would you say that's your favorite like death kill scene in the movie?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like almost seems like I'm trying too hard, not saying that the chest bursting scene isn't. I mean, obviously that's, legendary. But I think, I'm not big like, what's your favorite fucking kill of all time? Like top 10 kills.
Mm-hmm.
So I like my things to have kind of an emotional impact.
Well, sure. So you're a big fan of the first Alien. What about Aliens? Were you as big of a fan of Aliens, or?
Oh yeah. Huge. Love it. I mean, that might be. I mean, I could ask all, the time what my favorite movie of all time is. And I don't really like to answer it because it depends on like what day it is, what mood I'm in, what I had for dinner, Black Christmas, it's Alien, it's Aliens, it's The Thing, The Descent, I don't know. But Aliens is definitely up there.
And I think it's up there with one of the best sequels of all time. I always lump Empire Strikes Back, Terminator 2, and Aliens as the best sequels of all time.
I've only very, very recently, within like the last 2 months, discovered people that complain about Aliens who don't like it.
Really?
Because they feel like it's just a cheap cannon fodder version of Alien, or like completely left the tone behind, and like all that kind of stuff. I'm like. You're such a sad person.
Yeah, you're just literally trying to find reasons to complain right now.
You get Alien, which is claustrophobic, and it's slow in a good way, and tense and this, that. And then you get Aliens, and it's like it's taking you back there, and it's just like, why not? Don't you want all that stuff? But that's what we loved about the Aliens franchise, that they kept going like different routes with
yeah, because 3 I think is more of an action movie than a horror movie, so
3 is 3 I've spent it would almost seem like my life goal is trying to heal from part 3 and accept, like I need to like go through like a 12-step thing for and I think a lot of us did. A lot of us, like huge Alien and Aliens fans.
Yeah.
And I've tried to explain to my son who loves Aliens and Alien. He always wants to watch Alien 3. And I was like, nah. I'm like, just grow, like, you get, move out on your own and watch Alien 3 on your own. He said, why? You don't like Alien 3? I was like, I do like Alien 3. It's like, but, it's like, you love Aliens so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you love Ripley, you love Hicks, you love Newton, like that whole thing, they go through that whole movie. And it's like, they get out there, and then Alien 3 comes, it's just like, slap.
Yep.
And then it's over with. I'm like, what the fuck? And yeah, maybe I'm like, it's just a whole different movie that doesn't work if Hicks and Newt are there, but it really it had emotional impact in a bad way. So we had a lot of recovery. Immediately just fucking hated Alien 3 for that.
Right.
So
it's all those things like you said. Yeah, time goes by and you settle down a little bit.
Yeah, and you grow up, I'm talking, I saw Alien when I was 12, 13, Alien 3, I mean. So Alien 3 went, in theaters, so I was 12, 13, something like that. Undeveloped, stupid brain. I
And the
love
hype you had in yourself for it, I'm sure.
So you took Corporal Hicks away from me. And, yeah. But, I watched it, and I watched different versions of it, kind of like the assembly cut of it. And now there's the very loud. And now there's the Alien 3 comic, which is based on the original Goldman screenplay.
Okay.
Where there is Hicks and Newt.
Okay.
So it's almost like kind of like piece by piece we're starting to get other versions of it. It'll never be the same.
No.
The healing, it's important.
Like you said, 12-step program, man. To try.
Yeah.
You're through the denial now, and
it was grieving for 3 decades, and then yeah.
So I do like to end these with a skull count. 0 being the worst, 5 being the best. How many skulls would you rank Alien?
5.
I figured.
Is 5 the best? 5 is the best?
Yep.
Yeah, it's gotta get 5. Well, it's perfect.
Yeah. See, it's funny. Everybody I've done so far, because my first horror movie is also my favorite horror movie. It's House from 1986. I absolutely love that movie. I think that we always will have, maybe if it's not just nostalgia, just we'll always have that soft spot for that first horror movie because if you've watched the channel, you've heard me say it before, but I hate doing the comparison, but I do compare it to drugs. You get that first high and you're always chasing that again. You get that first scare from a horror movie and you're always chasing that dragon again, trying to get that scare again. So I think for a lot of people, the first one was their favorite one just for that reason. You felt that anxiety and that fear for the first time.
I think I'm very lucky that Alien was my first one. I do like House, though. Did you give House 5 skulls?
No, I seen House 1, 2, and then 4.
But like, do you rate House 5?
Rate 5 skulls. Yeah, I absolutely do. I think that. Yes, yeah, I think it's got the horror, it's got the comedy, it's got the emotional, feelings to it. With him and his son, like there's so much going on in that movie, man. And that was the first movie poster I ever bought. I still have that out in my garage right now. It's just one of those things that everything clicked in that movie for me.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a fun one.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. So, like I said, man, I know that your time is valuable. I'll get off here with you, but I honestly ask you, please keep me updated on everything you have going on. This has been such an honor, man. Like we were talking before with Strangers, Pray at Night. That was the first time I had seen you in a film, and you totally, without saying one word, owned that fucking role, man. Like that was such a great role and such a scary movie, man. Like you watch that. That's one of those movies that you fear out of realism. Like this shit could happen. This isn't a guy chasing me in my dreams or a big, huge worm coming up out of the ground and grabbing me with its tongues. This is some bad motherfuckers that just want to kill me because I was here.
If it helps you feel any better, I had to ask Lewis to slow down 3 times because I couldn't catch him running out of the pool. If someone attacks you with boots filled with water and a bag on the head and a corduroy suit, you can get away pretty easy.
Just get to a pool, make sure that they get in the pool with you, and then get out and run. Well, you guys heard it here first. If you're ever getting chased by someone that fits that description, get to the pool because they're not.
Any strangers and bees. You just run into and jump in the pool.
But it's too bad they don't have an EpiPen for the bee or for the strangers.
Yeah.
And I'll ask one more thing before I let you go. I've been asking all my guests. The next segment I'm going to be doing is called Coffee and Killers, where we, sit around, drink some coffee, and talk about your favorite slasher movie, or we just pick a slasher movie and we completely dissect it. Is that something you'd be interested in coming back for?
Of course, slasher movies are my thing. Yeah.
Amazing, man. I'll keep you updated on that. It's something that I enjoyed this very much. Like I said, you're one of the people that when we reached out to and we got a response from you, me and Michael, the guy that has been booking things for me, we were beyond ecstatic. So taking time out of your day to help us, man, it really means a lot. We're big fans of the work, and I really can't wait to see where you go from here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, man. Absolutely. Anytime.
Everybody, thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys soon.